Alright guys, so now we're going to move on to subtracting rational expressions. You'll notice that there's one more step than what we did the other day with adding, which you're going to see in a second what it is. I think you probably already know. So first you're going to factor all denominators. That's not how you spell that. Denominators. Factor all denominators, then you're going to find the LCD. Once you have the LCD, you're going to multiply each fraction by any missing factors in the LCD, just like the other day. That way now you have all the denominators should be the same. And then the fourth step is the new thing. So unlike with adding, you have the subtraction sign. So you're going to distribute the negative. Distribute negative, which I was going to say you're going to do keep, change, change. So you keep the first fraction, change the subtraction in the middle to addition, and then you change all of the signs that are in the numerator of that second fraction, whatever you're subtracting. Okay, I'll show you though. Number 5, you are then going to combine like terms in the numerator. Remember, your denominator stays the same. And lastly, you're going to simplify if possible, which it's usually pretty rare for you to have to simplify again. However, I know in pre-calc you definitely have a few examples where you, after you add or subtract, you then simplify at the end again. So let's look at this first example down here. We have 3 divided by x squared plus 9x plus 18 minus 7 divided by x plus 6. So your first step is to factor. So you can factor the x squared plus 9x plus 18. When you do master product on that, that is x plus 3 times x plus 6. So your LCD, you are going to put those two things together. So your LCD is x plus 3 times x plus 6. Okay, so your first fraction, your denominator is already x plus 3 times x plus 6, so you're good to go on the left. So that's going to stay the same. That's going to stay as 3 divided by x plus 3, x plus 6. Then you have minus. Now this other fraction is 7 divided by x plus 6. So you're missing the x plus 3. So you're going to multiply the top and the bottom by the x plus 3. You don't actually have to multiply the bottom out again. You can just leave it alone. I suggest you just leave it alone. So you're going to actually multiply. So 3 divided by x plus 3, x plus 6. Then we have minus. This is now 7x plus 21 divided by x plus 3, x plus 6. So remember, you're subtracting this entire thing. So when you distribute the negative in step 4, you are going to change the middle to a plus, and then you're going to change the signs of everything that follows it. So now we're going to combine like terms. Now this turns into an addition problem like what we were doing the other day. So when you combine like terms for this, we have the 3 and the negative 21 combined. So we have negative 7x is alone, and then 3 minus 21 is minus 18 divided by x plus 3 times x plus 6. And that's it. Okay, let's look at number 2. Number 2, you can't factor x minus 7, can't factor x minus 6, so your LCD is kind of obvious that you're just going to put those two things together. X minus 7, x minus 6. So your first fraction, that 5x over x minus 7, that's missing an x minus 6 in the bottom. So you're going to multiply the top and the bottom by x minus 6. Then we have minus 2x plus 1. That fraction was missing the x minus 7. So you multiply the top and the bottom of that fraction by x minus 7. Okay, now you're going to actually multiply. So this first fraction on the left is 5x squared minus 30x divided by x minus 6 times x minus 7. Minus, when you double distribute 2x plus 1 times x minus 7, I'm just going to warn you guys now, in pre-calc, they want you to be able to do this fairly quickly. They don't want you to write out 4 terms. They want you kind of to combine the 2 in the middle as you're doing it. Same thing with squaring a binomial. Whenever you do, for example, x plus 2 squared, they want you to be able to do that kind of quick. So when you multiply 2x plus 1 times x minus 7, you get 2x squared minus 14x plus x is minus 13x. That's all it is. That's what I was talking about. And then minus 7. Divided by x minus 6 times x minus 7. Now again, we're subtracting, so we're going to do keep, change, or distribute the negative. So we have keep everything in the first fraction, change the subtraction sign to a plus sign, and then change all of the signs that follow. So now that's minus 2x squared plus 13x plus 7. So now, just like what we did the other day, you just combine like terms in the numerator, keep the denominator. So 5x squared and negative 2x squared is 3x squared. Negative 30x plus 13x is negative 17x. And then you have plus 7 is by itself, divided by x minus 7 times x minus 6. You cannot factor the 3x squared minus 17x plus 7 at all. So this is your final answer. Okay? And then last one, number 3. Cannot factor x plus 2, cannot factor x squared. So your LCD, you're going to put them together, is x squared times x plus 2. Your first fraction on the left, that's missing the x squared. So we have 4x times x squared divided by x squared times x plus 2. Minus. The right fraction is missing the x plus 2 on the denominator. So you multiply the top and the bottom by x plus 2. You're going to multiply that out. So on the left, you get 4x to the third divided by x squared times x plus 2 minus, on the right side, x times x is x squared, x times 2, so we have 2x, and then minus 3x, so 2x minus 3x is minus 1x, and then negative 3 times 2 is negative 6, divided by x squared times x plus 2. Again, we are subtracting, so we are going to distribute the negative. The minus in the middle becomes plus, and you distribute the negative to everything that follows in that second fraction. Biggest mistake is people don't distribute the negative to every term that follows. It's kind of like if this were in the second fraction were in parentheses, kind of. Okay? So lastly, we combine like terms. There actually are no like terms to combine. So your final answer for number 3 is 4x to the third minus x squared plus x plus 6 divided by x squared times x plus 2. Right? Nice and simple. So again, it's the same thing that we did the other day with adding, but now you just have one extra step of making sure that you distribute the negative to everything, every piece of that numerator that you're subtracting. Okay, let me know if you have any questions.